the power of personal transformation, Andrew's journey to self-discovery and peace. Welcome to today's video. Today, we're going to talk about how to do the personal transformation. Before starting the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. In a remote village surrounded by mountains and rivers, stood a sprawling hermitage, a serene sanctuary led by the wise and compassionate Master Gautam. This hermitage was a refuge for seekers who had renounced worldly pursuits, to learn the profound teachings of wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. Among the many disciples who lived and learned there was Andrew, a young man from a wealthy family. Andrew, who was driven by a deep curiosity, had given up his comfortable life to join the hermitage, but he carried with him a habit that seemed out of place in a life of silence and self-reflection. He simply could not stop talking. Andrew's habit of speaking was not limited to simple chatter. Wherever he went, he brought stories from the village, commenting on people's lives, and often talking about himself. To his fellow disciples, Andrew was seen as self-centered, always attempting to demonstrate his intellect and abilities. He believed his sacrifice of wealth for a life of austerity gave him a unique standing among the disciples. "I come from a life of comfort and abundance," he would say, "yet I chose to be here. Doesn't that make my journey more significant?" Master Gautam, who observed each disciple closely, noticed Andrew's behavior but remained silent. He waited patiently for the right time to teach Andrew a lesson that would reach deep into his heart and make a lasting impact. One morning, the master called all his disciples together in the meditation hall. He spoke about the value of personal discipline and announced a special month-long practice. For the next month, Master Gautam declared, "Each of you will take a personal vow, a resolution that challenges you. This resolution will strengthen your willpower and cultivate self-awareness." Each disciple was free to choose a resolution according to their abilities and limitations, and the master would support them in keeping it. One by one, each disciple came forward to discuss their chosen resolution with Master Gautam, who listened intently. Some chose to fast from certain foods. Others vowed to meditate for longer hours or to refrain from idle conversation. When Andrew's turn arrived, he approached Master Gautam with confidence, certain that he would choose a resolution that would set him apart from everyone else. "Master," Andrew said with a hint of pride, "I do not want to take a small resolution. Give me a challenging one, something that reflects my abilities and dedication." Master Gautam looked at him thoughtfully and responded, "Are you sure you want this, Andrew? A more demanding resolution may test you beyond what you expect." Andrew, eager to impress, replied, "Yes, Master. I am ready for anything you give me." After a moment's pause, Master Gautam finally said, "Very well. Your resolution will be silence. For the next month, you are not to speak a single word." Andrew's face fell for a brief moment. To him, silence seemed trivial, a challenge unworthy of his supposed strength. "Master, surely this is too simple," he protested. "Remaining silent cannot be that difficult." Master Gautam smiled knowingly. "Silence is not as simple as it seems, Andrew. Words carry our energy outwards, and silence turns our energy within. Complete this resolution with sincerity, and you may discover its true difficulty and its power." Andrew reluctantly agreed, confident that he would easily complete his task. From that moment, he closed his mouth, accepting his vow of silence. On the first day, he found it surprisingly easy to stay quiet. But as the second and third days passed, the silence began to weigh on him like a heavy burden. Without the usual chatter, Andrew began to feel restless and frustrated. He felt isolated from his fellow disciples, unable to share his thoughts or opinions. It was then that he noticed something he hadn't seen before: how much he craved acknowledgement, and how strongly he desired to impress others. He had always filled the silence with his own voice to drown out his deeper insecurities, but now, without his words to lean on, he began to confront feelings of doubt and vulnerability. On the fifth day, Andrew could no longer bear the silence. His mind was racing with thoughts and judgments, and he felt as if his head might explode. He went to Master Gautam and wrote on a piece of paper, "Master, I feel like I'm suffocating. The silence is unbearable. It's making me restless, and I can't seem to find peace." Master Gautam read Andrew's note and replied, "Resolutions are not easy, Andrew. They are meant to test us. If you truly want to grow, you must endure this discomfort. Every struggle in silence is a step toward inner clarity. If you wish, you may abandon the resolution and return to your routine. But remember, facing discomfort is the only way to grow stronger." Humbled, Andrew returned to his silence, determined to see the month through. Each day, he felt a deeper urge to speak, to let out the flood of thoughts pent up within him. But he resisted, channeling his energy into his meditation practice. Gradually, Andrew began to notice a change. The noise in his mind started to soften. The constant chatter of his thoughts began to quiet. replaced by an awareness of the sounds around him: the rustle of leaves, the chirping of birds, the soft murmur of the river flowing nearby. As his inner turmoil calmed, Andrew found himself drawn to a new depth of stillness. He realized how much energy he had been wasting on unnecessary words and judgments. For the first time, he felt the gentle embrace of true silence, not just the absence of sound, but a quietude that resonated within him. After 2 weeks, Andrew's transformation was becoming evident to everyone around him. His face, once animated by constant talking, now radiated a calm and peaceful expression. He moved through the hermitage with a quiet presence, no longer seeking attention or validation. The other disciples noticed the change and began to look to him as an example. One day, while sitting in deep meditation, Andrew experienced a profound insight. He realized that his incessant need to speak had been a way of avoiding himself, of escaping the fears and insecurities that lay buried within. Silence had brought him face to face with these inner struggles, allowing him to confront them and, ultimately, to transcend them. At the end of the month, Master Gautam gathered the disciples to discuss their resolutions and their experiences. When it was Andrew's turn, he spoke with a newfound humility and grace. "Master, I thought silence would be easy. I thought it would be nothing more than refraining from speaking. But in silence, I found a mirror that showed me my true self, my fears, my weaknesses, and my deepest insecurities. I now understand that true silence is more than the absence of words. It is the presence of awareness." Master Gautam nodded, pleased with Andrew's growth. Silence is a path to self-discovery, Andrew. In speaking less, we begin to hear the inner voice that has been drowned out by our constant chatter. You have learned a valuable lesson, one that will serve you for a lifetime. Andrew continued his practice of silence beyond the month, not as a vow, but as a choice. He discovered that in silence he found a peace that words could never capture. His relationships with the other disciples transformed as well. They now saw him as a friend and confidant, someone who listened with empathy rather than judgment. Years passed, and Andrew became known not for his words, but for his calm and understanding nature. His silence had taught him the power of presence, a gift that allowed him to support and guide others on their journeys. He had come to the hermitage as a young man filled with pride and ambition, but he left it as a humble and wise soul, forever grateful for the gift of silence and the lessons it had revealed to him. Lesson of the story: the journey of silence is a journey inward. Just as Andrew learned in silence, we face our own thoughts and emotions, finding the truth hidden within ourselves. When we silence the outer noise, we uncover the peace and wisdom that lie in our hearts, waiting to be heard. Thank you for watching. Your support is invaluable to me, and I hope this video has brought insight and inspiration. Until next time, take care and stay empowered. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe to the channel.